Today, I'm gonna explain to you guys how Haachama was able to time travel. Child Haachama from a parallel universe visited Hato in our timeline. This arc combines time travel and mental health elements. Let me explain. General relativity, quantum theory. But, before you click away, we won't be delving deep into those. Instead, we're gonna talk about people's grandpas. No, we're not dissing anyone's family over here. It's a concept called the grandfather paradox. What's a paradox, you may ask? Well, it's simply two things that shouldn't exist at the same time. If one of the conditions exists, the other condition should not. How does that relate to grandpas, though? Say a person travels into the past and kills their grandpa. That person should have never existed in the present, but they did. A lot of smart people argued this meant time travel was impossible. Some other smart people argued that time travel was possible, but that it simply wasn't possible to change the course of history, no matter what actions the time traveler took. In other words, that person would not be able to kill their grandfather before they reproduced, no matter how hard they tried. However, we know nowadays that it's plausible that parallel universes could exist. Parallel universes run alongside our own and operate independently of our universe, but the course of history might look totally different. It might be possible for people to travel to a different parallel universe. I've linked resources in the description explaining how all that stuff works. What this means for Haachama's lore is that there might be many copies of the same person, although due to differences in history, that person might not be exactly the same as them. This eliminates the grandfather paradox. If a person travels back in time and kills their grandfather in a parallel universe, there is no contradiction between that person's action and their own existence. Therefore, we can't rule out the existence of the child Haachama we saw at the end of the room review stream. She could be from a parallel universe. How the heck did a kindergartner travel through time? Well, works of fiction don't always outline the mechanism by which that person traveled. Humans don't know the mechanism yet, so some authors choose to leave it unknown. That brings me to the series, The Girl Who Leapt Through Time. Haachama sang a song in her 500k karaoke stream from the 2006 anime adaptation. In it, the main character gets hit by a train. Instead of dying, she gains the ability to travel through time. Rather than using the ability for something drastic, she changes things in her everyday life. When Child Haachama was hit by the car in one parallel universe, Child Haachama traveled to present-day Hato. In our timeline, Child Haachama died. We see the image of present-day Hato waking up Child Haachama more than once in the time travel arc. Recall that I theorized that the character Hato is suffering from dissociative identity disorder, causing her to have both a Hato and a Haachama personality. If you'd like a full explanation of the lore up until now, check out my Haachama Theories playlist. I think Child Haachama likely visited Hato at the end of the previous arc because we saw Hato waking up Child Haachama. I think Child Hato must have left, which triggered the current arc. The end of Child Haachama's visit caused Hato to temporarily relinquish her hold over herself, and the Haachama personality was able to take over for a long period of time. Hato missed Child Haachama so much that she allowed herself to be suppressed. At the end of the room review stream, we see "thank you" repeated on the screen. That might be the Haachama personality thanking Child Haachama for letting her gain control. Or it might be Hato thanking Child Haachama for visiting her and alleviating her loneliness. Well, that doesn't explain whether present-day Haachama traveled back in time, whether it's a parallel universe Haachama, or whether it's just Haachama experiencing a delusion. I'll get into that in a moment. If you like pizza with pepperoni, but without the pepperoni, please consider hitting the like and subscribe buttons. Sharing this video with friends would help the algorithm also love pan-pepperoni-less pizza. I think Haachama was having a psychosis episode. In The Girl Who Leapt Through Time, the main character is visited by a stranger who also traveled through time. After around a month, he leaves and wipes her memory. Recall that Hato took a month break before ending the last arc. Child Hato may have left her at the time she began this time travel arc. Supposing Hato's memory reset after Child Haachama disappeared again, she may have truly believed she was back in August 2020. In her birthday stream, no one from her timeline calls her, which is odd considering she had formed strong bonds with the other members by then. History can be different in a parallel timeline, sure, but Haachama knows repeatedly that it is surprising that no one showed up to her birthday stream. That unknown caller that we see incessantly calling throughout the next few streams is Hato. Haachama claims to have entirely forgotten her, so it makes sense that the call screen would say unknown rather than Akaihaato. In her Till 500k stream, it took 4 times as long for Haachama to reach the benchmark compared to the original version. History can be different, yes, but it seemed to me that Haachama was manually changing the count to fit her typical standard hour to hour-and-a-half stream time. Those strange videos she put out are just reversals of her past short videos that match the day she believed that she was in. As far as I can tell, there aren't any hidden messages in those. Hato is an excellent and fast editor, so that's child's play for her. Because she truly believed her own delusion, Haachama wanted us to be convinced too. In the latest revival stream, we snapped back to the present day. Something lifted Hato out of her psychosis and back to reality. She has decided to weave this Twitter message into her lore. Haachama has been elusive about whether the tweet was true and refuses to explain. Therefore, I'll respect her wishes and treat it as lore. The tweet was from Hato because Haachama thinks someone hacked her Twitter account and professes that her mental state has always been unstable. Turning to the revival stream, Hato is trapped in a bare room. Haachama wants full control and is threatening Hato to obey. I reversed the garbled audio in several places, which revealed a secret dialogue. I don't speak Japanese, so I asked for help on Reddit. Credit for the translation goes to these Redditors. There was also a person that didn't want to be credited. Thank you very much for the help.
こんにちは。ようこそ。ゆる深刻なエラーが発生しました。要求します。警告。秘密事項です。拒否します。拒否します。拒否します。拒否します。解析開始。解析完了。圧縮します。深刻なエラーが発生しました。該当情報はありません。展開します。
The revival stream harkens back to the bad end stream, where the cycle repeats. It seems Hato can't live with or without Haachama. After Hato announcing her instability and taking a break, Haachama has taken full control once more. For now, Hato is obeying against her will. The fact that she is forgiving Haachama and relinquishing control may indicate that Hato would rather be imprisoned than give up seeing Haachama. That brings us to now, where Haachama has done a few non-lore related streams. This theory nearly made my head go Haachama-chama. If you guys have any ideas about the lore, feel free to comment. I love responding to everyone's comments. I'll give you my big red heart. Also, join the Discord because we're shockingly wholesome, at least by Haton standards. Thank you very much, and see you next time.